Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our panelists for being with us here today. I appreciate the opportunity. Commissioner Tootin, you'd mentioned in your comments there three lumps of dollars there for, I think, for storage refurbishment. It adds up to about $1.5 billion. Is that going to be able to be carried out timely so that we don't lose opportunities for storage or lose the facilities themselves?
Good morning, Congressman. Thank you for that question. We are absolutely motivated to be able to put that money into action and on the ground. We've invested $515 million in storage projects in California alone, and it's our intention to move those as expeditiously as possible.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to shift gears to also the Upper Klamath Lake. You knew that was coming.
I did.
In April this year, it was announced that BR would be allocating about 215,000 acre-feet of water for use of farms and ranches there, which we're grateful for. It's better than what's been going on recently, and as well as helping out with the refuges. However, in the big picture here of the water, amazing water availability, the snowpack we've had this year and the rain, all around the state, it was indeed a disappointment because it is half of their historical need and use. So I saw a recent update, I think Friday, that next year either 45 or 50,000. I'm hearing different numbers, but it's going to bring up to either 260 or 265.
65.
And do you know which figure that is?
At 265, Congressman.
265. Okay. Again, thank you for the update on that. I'm still wondering though, is this? I think you could have justified an even higher number with the positive condition the lake is this year. So why couldn't it have been even a higher number, such as 285, that growers are looking at up there to have a more normal crop year?
I can't think of any basin better represented on this subcommittee than the Klamath Basin, and fully recognize that the challenges are real there. One of the things we're watching is how the snow melts. While it's there as snow, in past years, we've seen the snow not materialize into runoff. And so when we were looking at our allocations, we wanted to be sure that that 265 would hold while meeting all the other requirements that we need to meet for the system.
Do you anticipate a further augmentation? Should it be more positive farther into the crop year? Such as last year, we made the appeal that there was extra water above the interim operating plan end of season number, and we couldn't, get any movement on the end of year. An extra irrigation would have helped a lot of growers up when they had potatoes the size of your finger out there. We were looking about for 30,000 acre feet. So do you see that there could be an additional upgrade, say in June or what have you?
We'll adaptively manage the system, and I'm happy to follow up with you and keep you posted as we see the hydrology progress.
So can farmers and ranchers figure out how to plan for that in their crop year?
Which is why we wanted to be able to get the numbers out, just not in the allocations, but also for the environmental water account, to make sure that we're providing certainty as they're making business decisions and that the ecosystem is also protected.
Okay. Quickly on the lake elevation of 4139.2 seems to be a target number right now. I wonder what the significance of that number is, because it's moved around from biological opinion to interim operating plan. Is the suckerfish going to be in jeopardy at a number different than 4139.2, like 0.19 or 39.0, 4138, when even the irrigator's water right is all the way down to 4136?
So
I mean, what's the significance of that particular number?
As we're looking at managing the system, we're looking at the requirements, as you mentioned, Congressman, of the species. But as we looked to manage the system earlier this year, a commitment was to keep the lake as high as possible, not only for the species, but to ensure that we're going into the next water year.
Okay, all right. Because we know that this sucker actually thrives in lower water better than other types of fish. Let me point out real quick, I have on this chart here, in order for the long-term flows of the river to be strategized, they were using figures from the called the Hardy Flow Study, using the highest possible numbers from 1904 to 1912 down here from one of the wettest periods in the 123-year history, when you do have a lot of other low flow years. So the target ends up being based on the super high flow numbers from 100 years ago, as opposed to something a little more the average. So they can hardly meet the goals because the number's been set so high, the bar's set so high. So is this something that can be revisited here? Because indeed, a lot of us believe that this is an artificially high target to be met from something that happened. You know, you look at the whole chart here. You got these heavy zones here. None of them have been that heavy in the 100 years since.
So we are committed, and I've been out to the Klamath Basin 3 times since I've been in this position. We'll be there this summer on talking about what a holistic solution is for the basin. As it's been mentioned before, it's not sustainable, and we want to be able to provide certainty to the water users, but also protect the ecosystem. So
Okay, well, we have impossible numbers for the water users to meet out of their allocation, so I might need to yield back. Thank you, Ms. Chairman.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. LaMalfa. Ms.